My name is Nick Johnstown. I graduated from the Ohio Center for Broadcasting in March of 2008. I now work as the main audio operator for the TD Garden, for the Boston Celtics, the Boston Bruins, and any other event at the Garden. The things I've learned in this place will absolutely take you wherever you want to go. I started off by doing internships at 610 WTVN and 97.1 The Fan. When I was an intern at 97.1 The Fan, they stuck me in an audio booth on the first day, and they joked around after a while, calling that my office, because I would spend 40 hours a week in that place. The schedule I was working at that point was just hectic to get all out. I was going from 5 a.m. in the morning until 10 p.m. at night, 5 times a week. It was absolutely incredible, the experience I was able to learn working under someone like Larry Larson, Mike Riccardotti, Paul Keels. All these people give me tons of knowledge and telling me where I need to go and where the next step is. My first job was in WMRN up in Marion, calling high school football for Division VI high schools in small Marion, Ohio. From there, I was able to get a job at the Columbus Clippers organization. And I went up there to interview for a job running the Daktronics system for counting balls and strikes on the scoreboard. I told the supervisor up there that I knew how to run an audio board, and he said, and I quote, "Boom, you're my DJ." That's how it started. And from there, I was able to get in there, do a good job, show up to work on time every day, and that turned into a job as the DJ for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I always strive to do something different and go outside the box and do what other people won't do or can't do. And I started a Twitter account where I would live tweet all my songs out during Blue Jacket hockey games. And lo and behold, a guy from Boston started following me, and we would talk here and there. About 2 years later, he told me they had fired their DJ and they were looking for someone, and asked if I was interested in coming out. I've always been a big fan of the city of Boston, the history, the culture, the sports organizations are top notch. So I went out there, talked to him, and he hired me on the spot. I would always joke around and say I'm living the dream, and right now I really am. But the thing that you have to realize is it's not easy. I mean, I talk about working 40 hours a week in an audio studio, sitting there cutting up sound one bit after another. I would sit in the studio and cut up the Ohio State press conferences every week with Jim Tressel and try not to fall asleep for the most part. But it was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of great people. Actually, the guy who hired me in Columbus for the Clippers works for ESPN, does all the BCS national championship games, all the bowl games, and he works for Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment. He does a great job. He's out there every pay-per-view. And you know what? Learning from those kind of people is what's going to get you where you need to go. My advice to you, if this is something you really want to pursue, is to give it everything you've got. This program will give you all the tools and knowledge that you need to succeed, but it's up to you ultimately what you do with it. I can tell you all the great stories, the people I've met, the relationships, the networking, but ultimately it's up to you what you want to do with it. If you treat this place like a job, it'll pay off and benefit 10 times what anything you could have ever expected. I mean, talking to a guy who was making minimum wage, driving 120 miles there and back round trip to Marion, Ohio from Columbus, Ohio, and now I work in Boston. It's a top 10 media market, tons of exposure out there. And this past year, I was able to work the preliminary skates for the Olympics for men's and women's singles and paired skating. It's a great experience. The things you'll learn here are invaluable. The people you'll meet are invaluable. And what you'll learn how to do will really shock and amaze you. The Ohio Center for Broadcasting, where broadcasting careers begin.